Good morning. It is Homebody. How are you? It is before 9:30. Let me turn this ear off. Let's see if I can survive without the ear, because it's kind of loud. Let's see. Because it's so hot. Let me tell you, it's before 9:30. Today is Sunday. It is not even 9:30 yet. And I already took my walk. Went to Walmart. I had to get a new SD card, right? It's still way too late to safely take a walk. Like, I'm still sweaty. I got up at 7. I should have really have gotten up by like 6:30 and got out by 7. I really should have, because it is so hot, okay? And I saw people out, trying to get their exercise in as early, as I was too. But it was honestly, I think it was way too late. Like, you really should be like, and I started walking I was up at 7. I was out. I started walking right before 8. It was too late. I don't want to say too late, but it just felt like I should have been out way earlier. But anyway, I'm still in the car rental. I've had it since Wednesday, which is so nice that I'm able to, and it's not a rental per se, it's a loaner. So the dealership gave me a loaner, okay? So I'm not going to talk more about it, because obviously I don't have my car back, right? So I'm going to say this. I went and got my hair braided yesterday. I'm going on vacation next week, right? I went and got my hair braided. I went and got a pedicure. But anyway, when I went and got my hair braided, they put a program on TV, right? I was the first one there. I was the first customer of the day yesterday. I got there at 9:30, right? So they put a program on. They was like, what were we watching yesterday or whatever. So they wanted to continue what they were watching. So they turned the program on, and I couldn't tell what it was. So I'm watching it, and the show is about a whole cult, okay? And I'm like, what in the world what am I watching, okay? So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, I need to figure out what this is, right? So in between the first episode and the second episode, how they do they introduce the cast and they introduce the title of the show, and I found out what it was. But this is the thing, I kind of figured it out at some point. I said, I think, like, how your memory kind of just comes to you. I used to try, okay, this is a big try. I tried to watch the Oval, the Tyler Perry show about the White House, because I thought it was going to be a good show. And it's very like soap opera-ish. I cannot do soap operas. And I tried for like a good maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and I gave up. I missed it a couple of times, and I was just like, I really wasn't into it anyway. But there was one character in the Oval who was a staff person's child or something. The person that was braiding my hair gave me some information. I was asking, like, wait a minute, is this like the spinoff from the show about the White House? She said, yeah, the Oval. I was like, okay. So she was like, yeah, this is the butler's son. The butler's son had a child, and the baby mama took the child with her to the coat. I said, oh, okay, this is the spinoff, okay? So I was like, okay, gotcha. She said, they killed him. They done killed him already, because he tried to get his daughter back. I was like, oh, shoot. I said, well, does she know? So the main character, so the show's name is called Ruthless, okay? The main character's name is Ruth, okay? She is the baby mama of the butler's son, okay, who took the baby to the coat, okay? So, yeah. So apparently she's in this cult. The episode I started watching, she was beating this girl with a whip, okay? She had threatened to tell the highest on her. I don't even know why, but she was threatening to tell, and she took her into this bunker type thing and started whipping her. And she was like, I'm sorry, I won't tell, I'm sorry, or whatever, right? So the highest is like the leader of this cult. And then there's somebody called Mother Elder who is trying to poison Ruth. Ruth has a relationship with the highest, and she's supposed to be pregnant, but Mother Elder doesn't like her and tried to poison her. That's the episodes I got that I saw. So when I got the name of it, I said, let me do some research, right? Because this is the thing, I don't watch traditional TV. I don't watch like a series. The last time I really got into a series like that was Grey's Anatomy and The Practice. Remember, The Practice is the spinoff of Grey's Anatomy. The Practice is not even on TV anymore. But I used to get into it, and now I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. I haven't watched Grey's Anatomy for like I watched Grey's Anatomy solid for like the first 3-4 seasons, and then The Practice I got into for like the first 2-3 seasons, and I fell off from there. And then it got canceled anyway. It was pretty good though. It was pretty good, but it's like I said, I can't get into soap operas. I just feel like this is too much, right? This is not a typical average life of a person, right? And at the time that I was watching The Practice, I worked at a hospital. So I'm like, this is not how it goes, right? Not that I worked in that kind of setting, but I still worked in a hospital, right? So I was like, nah. But anyway, I watched the Scandal after it went off TV. So I was bored. This is like a good 3-4 years ago. I was bored, and I had Netflix at the time. My mom had Netflix and gave me the password, and she doesn't have Netflix anymore, but I was bored scrolling, couldn't find anything to watch. I got on Netflix, and Scandal was like, you could watch the whole thing. I'm not sure if it's like that now because I don't have Netflix, but you could watch all of it from episode 1 to the last episode. And I binge watched it almost. I would like get off work, watch it, stop. I would watch it like every day, and then on weekends, and I watched it all the way through. And I enjoyed it, but it was very soap opera. I could not be committed to watching an hour every single week. That would irk me so much, right? But anyway, this series is awful. It was, of course, I'm sitting there and getting my hair done, so I'm watching it, right? And it was just like, what? I'm like, did she just, because I didn't see that the lady tried to poison Ruth, right? I just saw that Ruth wouldn't eat it, and she was insisting for Ruth to eat it, right? And then Ruth said that she would share it with the highest. The lady was like, no, I'll make you something else. And yeah, so I was like, yeah, did she try to poison? And the hair person was like, yeah, she said she watched all of it. I was just like, so I did my own little research when I got home, right? I'm looking up what the episode is about, what the story is about. So Ruth, like I said, she is the mother of the guy that was in the Oval who got killed, because the people in Ruthless killed him because he was trying to get his child back. Apparently Ruth is trying to leave, but she's trying to she's being strategic in a way at this point because she doesn't want to stay anymore. Apparently she had to get gang assaulted. If you understand what I'm saying, read between the lines. She had to get gang assaulted to get her position in the cult. So this is why she has high ranking in the cult. It's a very abusive cult. Is a very drug driven cult. It's a lot of relationships between men and women, men and men. It's a lot of that. It's just like I couldn't even imagine to even write those things on paper in my imagination. Okay, I just this is such a strange thing to get into, and I probably more than likely won't. Yeah, I would just like I said, it's trapped trying to entertain. That was what's on TV, right? But and then come to find out, so Ruth is trying to leave, but her daughter, she's trying to figure out what her daughter is. So she has a friend that's in the cult that told her she found out that the highest he's trying to buy a hotel where the kids are, and he's going to move the cult from where they're located to the hotel, and they're going to run the hotel as a cult. And apparently the hairstylist was telling me that the highest already sold the kids. Like, he's already trafficked the children. So basically, she's going to have to figure out. I don't even know if she knows that her child has been trafficked. Yeah, I didn't get that information from the hairstylist, person who did my hair. But I'm just like, he doesn't even have the kids, and then the kids are trafficked. How's she going to get her daughter back? So I'm asking the hairstylist. Well, she told me that they already killed her daughter's dad. But I'm like, does Ruth know? And she said, I don't know. She says they showed that he got killed in the Oval. They didn't show that part in Ruthless. So it's not even clear Ruth knows that they killed her daughter's dad. It's just weird. And then there's scenes where I guess there's some law enforcement that's investigating these crimes of the cult or whatever. It's like it takes you from like the scene where the cult, all this stuff is happening with the cult, people being trapped in bunkers and because they want to escape. People die when they try to escape. They try to get them back and kill them and all kinds of stuff. And then they also kind of like cut to scenes where the police are investigating and nobody believes people that, escape and stuff. It's just weird. It's just a weird show. I just wanted to bring it as a topic because I'm like, do y'all ever watch stuff like that? Like, Scandal was bad enough. But it was still interesting. It's like I said, I could binge watch something like that. But something like that show would just, you have to be careful what you allow yourself to watch and listen to. And I'm guilty of it. I have like a habit of watching like the most ratchet parts of like entertainment at times, especially as it relates to like YouTube. But this stuff right here, I was just like, I don't even think if I was bored I would binge watch something like that. It's just too cringy. It's cringy. The storyline, the topics of, like, I wonder how that part played out when she got gang assaulted. How did that play out on TV? Can you imagine sitting there watching something like that? And you know how soap operas are. It's never like a 5-second scene. Like, this stuff draws out. Who's watching that? Who's watching that? Like, even when the girl was getting beat, there's a scene where she's getting beat, and then there's another scene where people are talking about her being beat, and you can still hear her being beat while they're talking in a different scene, right? Although you can't see her being beat, you can hear it, right? And there's another scene where they're like, like listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to like expose themselves to that on a regular basis? I remember watching soap operas when I was a kid, right? My mom didn't watch soap operas, but what would happen is that she would watch the news. You remember how the afternoon news is? She would watch the afternoon news, and after the afternoon news went off, the soap operas would come on. And a lot of older people, they wouldn't even turn the channel. They would just leave it. They wouldn't watch it, but they would just leave it on to soap operas. And then you're a kid and you're like, right? And I literally remember feeling like, when is this person going to get well and leave the hospital? It would be a hospital scene, and the person would be lying flat with their eyes closed, and all you hear is beep, 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 like the machine going off, right? And then it would be the doctor scene, people outside the room talking. It would be like it felt, of course I was a kid, right? Time feels different when you're a kid. But it felt like it was, the hospital scene would last for months on end, and then the person would get better in the hospital, but they would still be lying flat, and somebody would talk to them, and they would hold their hand, and they would be in there crying and talking, and it would just be, the hospital scene would last forever. Okay, the scenes would last forever. I remember all my children. I remember some of this stuff. Yeah, I remember how those scenes would be drawn out. I remember how those scenes would be drawn out. And I'm thinking about, like, just now, I remember Trevor from All My Children. Was Erica Kane? Erica, yeah. Was her real name, or was that the All My Children character? I think Helly. Like, I remember certain characters from certain parts of the soap opera. And, I remember watching like The Price is Right. You know what I'm saying? It would all like be on similar channels, but you couldn't get around, like, those soap operas would come on right after the news, and you'd be sitting there stuck like, okay, you know. And when you a kid, you know, you're not going to change the channel. You know, they ain't going to change the channel. Because I don't remember us getting our own TV. My parents had a TV, and there was a living room TV. We didn't actually have a TV in our room until I was like middle school. We didn't have cable. We didn't get cable until I was in high school. Yeah. Because I remember I felt rich. We moved when I was in high school. My parents got cable in high school. Because I remember I watched The Real World. I think season 2 or season 3 was when we first got cable. And I felt rich because my parents started getting the newspaper delivered. I was like, we rich. Because they would get the newspaper. It was the silliest, simple things when you're a kid. But I remember, like, oh, we getting the newspaper delivered. Because my dad would go. He would always go and he would buy it, right? But they started getting it delivered to the house at a certain age. When I was in high school. But, yeah. That's just like childhood stuff. But soap operas are cringy, and a lot of those like shows, like even like Grey's Anatomy, to me I thought it was a good show, but it started becoming soap opera-ish, and I don't like soap operas. Like, I cannot be attached. I don't like cliffhangers. I don't like that. Like, we at the 52-minute mark of the hour, and something happens and you gotta wait until a whole week to see what's gonna happen. Oh no. Okay. So I think I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy around that time when Denny died. Izzy was heartbroken. She left. And this is right after my boy died. I was so mad when whatchamacallit got hit by a truck. And his face was swelled up. And he went to the hospital. And it was a John Doe. He was a John Doe. Okay? Because they couldn't identify him. Because it was one of the doctors who got hit by a truck. They couldn't identify him. He was a John Doe. And what happened was, he actually wrote his name out on Meredith's hand. That's when they was like, oh my gosh! But he died. Sure enough. And they had the active shooter and stuff. It was just too much. It was way, like, when they had that active shooter, I think that's when I started falling off. I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, it's just like too much. It's just too much. It gets you too emotionally charged. And there's too many cliffhangers, and it's so unrealistic, and it feels real because you're watching it. Because, you know, you're getting all, you know, like, you're emotionally attached now to the characters and stuff like that. That's not true. Grey's Anatomy is not the last series I watched. I totally forgot. Now, when I just said that about being emotionally attached to the characters, I just thought. The last series I got connected to, like, every single week. Of course, I watch reality show, but I don't count that. I'm talking about, like, the fictional, you know, like the series, right? The last series I watch every single week, religiously almost, was The Walking Dead. Every Sunday. Okay? Sunday, 8, whatever. What time it come on? 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? I can't remember. Every Sunday. Okay? That was my show. And I binge watched. So how I got hooked on it was, one day I couldn't figure out what to watch. This is when I was married. I remember this because I remember the bedroom I was in. And I couldn't find anything to watch. And I was flicking. And I started watching this show. And I was like, what is this? Started watching it. And it was like one of those days. It was like you know how, like, when it's on its off season, they'll try to catch you up. So they was like the whole weekend was like back-to-back episodes. And I got into it. Walking Dead. So I started watching it I got caught up. So I think I started like binge watching it like season 2. And I got hooked. And then when they had got caught up, they started again from like season 1. So I was like, okay, cool. I didn't miss anything. So when the season started back up again, I was all the way caught up. So I think I started getting into a regular weekly schedule with The Walking Dead in season 3. Was it the prison? Season 3 was the prison episodes, I think. I think season 3 or season 4 is when the prison episode started. But let me tell y'all, baby, you can't tell me nothing about The Walking Dead, okay? And then my supervisor at the time, she had the comic books. And so I got a couple of comic books. And I'm kind of fun. Like, a lot of people at my job would share books and stuff. But I'm always the kind of person that I'm going to read it and give it back. Like, I don't like people keeping my stuff. And I've had people keep my stuff, which, you know, I'm not too funny about. But I'm like, I know that those Walking Dead comic books are probably collectible at this point. But definitely I read them and gave them back. Now, the comic books, they do differ from the series, but it's similar to some degree. There is like Daryl in The Walking Dead. He's not a character at all in the comic books. He's a totally made up character as it pertains to the actual TV series. But there's differences, but there are differences, but you know, at one point the TV series was better, and then I started watching. After Carl died, I was over it. Carl was Rick's son. Rick had disappeared, and then Carl died, which that was the whole point. That was Rick's driver, was his kids. Carl died, and then Rick disappeared, and without those stable main characters, like Rick was the leader, right? Without him, I just felt like the show was over. They made a horrible decision to kill Carl. They made a horrible decision to disappear Rick or whatever. He disappeared. He was surrounded by a horde of zombies, and a helicopter rescued him, and he left the show. So I think they're I don't know. They just kind of ruined it after that for me, and they ruined it for a lot of people. I think a lot of people fell off from there. But it was good for a long time. It was good for a long time. It really was. But I think I stopped watching it like that's when Carl died. It was it was like what actually happened around that time? Carl died from getting bit, and he got bit saving the doctor, and then the doctor died like a couple episodes later. It was just like he died for no reason, like for real. Like, you would think that he would have died to save another main character, because they have a few, but he died from, it was just like senseless. It was just the stupidest thing, right? And the writers of the TV series, they always says nobody's safe, no character safe, right? I get that part, but to keep it going, that's almost like All My Children, like killing off a main character that's been there for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something that people are gonna be like, I don't know, because this person is like in almost every episode, they're in almost every scene, right? The whole show revolves around this one person, right? And you need a main character. That's how stories usually go, right? But yeah, I think but that was the last time I actually got into something. So the last time I actually watched a series was probably wait, has it been that long? Yeah, it's been a long time. I would probably put it at maybe almost 5 years now, since I've actually gotten into a series every single week, with no plans to like get into it. And there have been shows. There was this one show I was like, this is going to be good. It was a show. I'm going to tell you who it stars. Now you can look it up and tell me. There was a couple of series I tried to get into, and they canceled after one season. I was like, nope, never again. Never again. It was 2 series I remember coming out around the same time, and it was on and then it was off. One was starring Megan Good, and it was called TV. It was really good. She was a police officer who went home to investigate her adopted family. Their daughter got killed, and she had to go back and investigate what happened. But she was doing it undercover as herself, but nobody knew she was a police officer when she left the town or whatever. what's it called? It's not even like something I can even pull up fast. Yes, it's called Deception. It's from 2013. I tried. And there's another one about a boy who disappeared and came back the same age he was when he disappeared, right? And they were trying. It wasn't just him. Like, there was like a lot of kids that got. A lot of people got resurrected. To say the least. They disappeared and then came back, and they were trying to figure out like where they go and if it's the same person and all that stuff. It was called Resurrection. There was a show called Resurrection. That was from 2013 too, and it was like one good season. It was off. So I can't really get attached to any series or any like that, because you never know what's going to happen, and you're going to be left on a cliffhanger, and then you're going to come back the next season, right? So I just want to talk to y'all. It's been a minute, I know, but sometimes when I don't come on here, I don't really have anything to talk about. I haven't watched any movies, but between my car and me watching that series yesterday, and I got vacation coming up, it's like a good time to come back and say hey to y'all, okay? So hope y'all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. I'm going to go home, get back under the air. I've done everything in preparation for my vacation later this week. I still got to work tomorrow. I still got to work this week. But I've done so much. I've already packed. I packed a while back because I'm ready. And I did laundry, although I still got to get through the week. So I'm going to have laundry when I come back, more than likely. I cleaned my bathroom, although I'm probably going to touch it up a little bit before I leave. I mopped the kitchen, which I'll probably touch that up again before I leave. And then of course I'm going to vacuum and all that stuff. The cat already has a spot at the cat boarding place, because we're renting a house. The house says no pets. I'm sure they have cameras. I don't want to get caught sneaking my cat into the house, right? My cat is, house broken. Like, he's not going to make any accidents and stuff. But the concern could be for some people is the allergens where the cats leave, or any pets leave. I don't want to get stuck with a bill for the cat. Or they're like, we said no cats, you brought him in anyway. Although he didn't do anything besides possibly make somebody sneeze, right? So, so he already has a spot for cat boarding. I gotta make sure I don't forget to take his shot record. The turtles should be okay. My turtles eat every day, but a lot of turtles, they do go into a little bit of a hibernation. So they're okay. I think they'll be okay if they don't eat for 2 days. Which I'm going to be gone longer, but they'll eat that day before I leave, and they'll eat the day I come home, but they won't eat for 2 days. It should be okay, because there was a point in time where they were refused to eat, and when it was colder, when in that cold season, they don't eat as much, so I think they'll be okay. Well, I know that. Well, I shouldn't say I think. I've had the turtles for like what? Dang. My son was 15, 16 years. I know they'll be okay. I should stop saying I think they'll be okay. I know they'll be okay. I know those turtles. So, but yeah, they'll be fine. The cat is the only thing I'm concerned about. He is very socialized. He's very clingy. He likes a lot of human interaction. So, I'm scared. I don't want nobody to mistreat my boo. But, I can't leave him home either, because he hears, like, he's someone that will perch, like, he will wait at the door for you. I've noticed that. That's how he is. Like, he waits, like, he needs human, like, he needs cuddles, and he needs human interaction. Like, he would not be okay if I left him for so long. So he has to go to cat boarding. I mean, and also the other reason why I'm not going to take him, number one, they said no pets. Also, he doesn't like car rides. He hyperventilates in the car. And I realized that when I moved him down here. And even when we take him to the vet, he hyperventilates in the car. I don't know. He has panic attacks when we ride. So he can't even probably do the ride if I wanted him to. Or if he could. If he was allowed to even stay in the house. He actually starts breathing like he can't catch his breath. And he's fine when he goes back in the house. So he needs to go to cat boarding. So all that's covered. I'm ready to go. So I got to get through this week. But anyway, y'all, have a good day. I will talk to y'all soon. I have a new SD card, so I should be good to go as far as uploading stuff, because my tablet always gives me problems. And I bought a new tablet, but the new tablet I can't get the app on, which is weird. So I have to use the old tablet, and the old tablet is always giving me issues with like space and stuff. So got a new SD card, and I should be good to go. But I will talk to y'all soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to turn this car on and get some air flowing in here, and I'll get back under the air of the house when I get home and then make something to eat. But take care. Have a good day. Bye.